How's it going, beautiful people of Instagram? This is Jose Trujillo. Welcome to my studio. I just got here. I've been doing some stuff. I missed my coffee. I didn't get any coffee today. Not yet, anyways. Not that I didn't get any today. I haven't gotten any yet. I just I'm so used to getting my coffee first and then coming to the studio that now that I came to the studio, my wife went to get some coffee. I'm like, oh man, I need some coffee. But anyways, I can deal with that. I just wanted to remind you guys of today. Today is, of course, Monday, but it's a great starting point to start with the right mindset, right? Today I use Monday to talk about everything to do with your right mindset, what you're supposed to be dealing with, where you're supposed to be looking, not supposed to, but where you would probably want to, right? Where you would want to go and put your attention on. Now I've came across something interesting because as I create videos, as I do all these things as an artist, I tend to do certain little things that work for me and some things that don't work for me, of course, right? But I came around something interesting. Look, this is the interesting thing, guys. No matter what you do, no matter how you do it, you want to keep moving. You want to keep moving forward. It's very simple. It's very easy, not simple. It's very easy to fall into the trap of just coming up with excuses. You know, it's just so many fucking excuses. It's so easy to start generating excuses. And the reality is that, you know, we are in the place we are. We do the things that we do, or we don't do the things that we do because we don't. Now, whether you can't or you can, or that whole spiel about, you know, it's true, I don't know. But if something's not happening for you, if you're not doing something, if you're not generating income from artwork, if you're not reaching your goals, if you're not exhibiting your artwork, whatever, if you're not doing it, you're not doing it. You know, it's really there. That's all there is to it. And many times I try to be gentle with myself and others, and it's a good thing, you know. I think it's pretty dope to be gentle, and you know, you care, right? I care about not being very hard on myself in the sense of I don't want to make myself feel bad. If I already feel bad, I don't want to feel worse, right? But it's good to shine some light. You know, be real about it. And the reality, guys, is that if we haven't gotten the things that we want, if we haven't reached the goals that we, you know, it's because we haven't. And I know it sounds like redundant and stupid, but it's not. We just haven't, you know. So whatever you slap on that is going to be an excuse. Oh, I didn't do this because of this. Oh, I couldn't do that because I was upset, or, you know, and on and on and on and on. And all we really have is excuses. I know that in my personal life. I'm not standing here in the Tower of Judgment because my own experience has been this way. My own experience has been like, well, let me figure out what went wrong or what's going on, or introspect and on and on and on. And I just realized, dude, there's nothing to introspect. You just do or you don't. You know, and if you don't, and you're smart, you'll come up with the most eloquent, the most, I don't know, they're going to sound really, your excuses are going to sound really cool. That's the difference. You know, I talk to a lot of people that presumably, they look smart. They look smart. They sound smart. But when I start talking to them, I start hearing the reasons as to why things are not working for them, why they can't show up to the studio, or and on and on and on. And I start realizing, oh, okay, yeah, I know, because I've done that. And I do that from time to time, and I have to I have to kick my own ass, and remind myself, dude, those are just excuses, just do their work, show up and do your work. The rest of them are just excuses. And as artists, we tend to believe that we have permission to figure things out, the artistic process, the creative process. It's the creative's way. It's because we're not pragmatic. We think right brain and on and on and on and on. They're just elegant excuses. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's not true. So I want to remind you guys, look, show up to work today. Show up, do your thing. Show up with intention. Rinse and repeat. And if you fall off the wagon, please remind yourself, dude, anything I say right now, it's going to be an excuse. So I'm not going to say anything, and I'm going to jump back up on that horse. And I'm going to keep riding till that horse. You want to ride it till the horse, all you have is the rope. All you have is you don't even have a saddle anymore. You want to just ride it. Because anything else we put on that, it's just excuses, And I've learned that the hard way. It's taken me a while. It shouldn't, but, whatever. It's taken me a while to understand that any label on why something didn't happen, why something fell, why something didn't go through, why, I couldn't work because I fell down. I couldn't work because I didn't have the materials. I couldn't make the painting because on and on. I wasn't feeling inspired. I couldn't show it to the gallery because they don't show my type of work there. I couldn't exhibit because I don't have a collection of work. I'm not good enough. That's one that people tend to repeat a lot. I'm not good enough, or I don't feel inspired is a big one. I'm afraid of putting certain prices because then people won't buy them. If I go too low, I'm afraid because people won't respect me. But if I go too high, people won't buy them. So I don't know what to do, and on and on and on and on. It's just a bunch of excuses. One of the latest ones I've heard is I'm waiting for the right opportunity. I'm waiting for the right opportunity. When I get my collection of artwork put together, when I get enough momentum, when enough galleries hear about me, when my Twitter account goes higher, when my Instagram followers, when my number of Instagram followers becomes higher, then that's where I'll start marketing and I'll start talking about my artwork. But for now, I won't. And on and on. It's just a bunch of bullshit excuses. And we get smart at it. We get smart with them. We get very smart. They start becoming very well thought of, well thought out. It's almost like a formula. And it's sad because our life, it's both short and long. Short when you look back, and long when you're looking forward, right? It's a good one, huh? It's really short when you look back. You look back and you realize, oh man, this person died already. This happened. I'm already, I started painting 10 years ago or 20 years ago, or some of you start painting 50 years ago. Now you look back and like, oh man, it's so short, right? But when you look forward to maintain and discipline yourself to do something, it feels so fucking long. It feels like you just can't reach it. Like, oh man, today I have to do another painting. Oh my God, it's like unreachable, right? So that's why I say it's so short. It's short when you look back, and it's very long. We have a long life when we look forward. So I want to remind you guys, as I'm reminding myself, I want to remind you also, and I want to share this with you. Don't use excuses. And if you use them, recognize that they're excuses and just, put them aside. Burn them. I don't know, whatever. Right? Get them out of your system. Get them out of the way. A good partner also helps. A good friend, a good partner. Although it's not easy, right, to understand. But a good partner, a good friendship, spouse, I don't know, maybe a good mentor. Sometimes parents are not good at doing it. But it's usually people who care about you but don't feel invested sometimes, right? They don't feel necessarily emotionally invested. So mentors are really good. A mentor will tell you like that. A good mentor, whether it be an older person you trust, someone who's not so emotionally invested with you, will tell you. Will tell you if you use if things are, you don't even need to go to a mentor. If you realize that things aren't happening for you, anything you say about it will be an excuse. Just understand this. If things haven't worked for you, if you haven't reached your potentials, if you haven't reached your goals, if you haven't done A, B, and C, whatever you want in your life, anything you say about it, it's going to accommodate as an excuse. It's going to be some sort of why, some reasoning, some logic, and it's going to be very logical. It's going to be extremely logical. It's going to make sense. It'll convince you for sure. It might not convince others, but it will convince you. And it's going to be one of those things that just makes so much sense. Like, oh man, yeah, I couldn't do that because of this. Yeah, it totally makes sense. Yeah, and on and on and on. And that's what the brain does. It's trying to protect you, right? So if it's trying to protect you, it's trying to make it seem like out there is the threat, right? You're not a threat. There's nothing wrong with you. It's out there. It's out there. It's all the limitations of the world and all the other challenges, but it can't be you, because you have real, tangible, logical reasoning as to why you can't show up, as to why a Monday feels, might feel heavy, or it might feel like I got to do work. I got to go to my 8 to 5. I got to do this. I'm married, on and on. I got to pick up the kids from school and on and on and on. And then I have to create my artwork, and then I have to market it. Yeah, well, that's life, It's the way it is. And again, guys, just a little reminder this morning. I hope that you guys are ready to crush it. I hope I didn't crush anyone's soul with this. I'm just trying to remind each other, ourselves, look, just move forward. It doesn't matter how. It doesn't matter if you crawl, you run. I don't know who I heard this. It's a quote. I read this somewhere. I think it was Dr. King. I'm not sure. But it doesn't matter as long as you keep moving forward. It doesn't matter if you're crawling, if you're walking, if you're flying. I think he says, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But you have to keep moving forward. And how's it going, Megan? Good to see you. And it's the only way, because see what this is one of the things that happens. Okay, this is one of the things that happens as you're moving forward. You create something that is called momentum. Momentum feels like it's carrying you. You've been painting for a week nonstop. All of a sudden, you start feeling the momentum. You start feeling the waves. The waves. It's a power, right? Because it's the power of repetition, and it accumulates energy. It's like what is it called? I forgot. The mathematician. What is it called? I forgot. Anyways, it's that law, right? Do you feel like it's the law of attraction at work? Totally. It really is, because it's one thing is opening the next one, right? And the excess energy pushes it, and then so it doesn't matter how little, whatever you're doing in little pockets, it's excess energy. Law of inertia. There you go. The excess energy, it's pushing it. So you may be doing something small. You're like, okay, well, every day I'm just painting for 1 hour, and then every day I'm marketing. In the same day I'm marketing for 30 minutes. And every day I'm talking to someone for 10 minutes and, about my artwork, and on and on and on. In a month, you don't have 10 minutes. You have, you have hours of something, right? But you have focused hours of something. So whatever you did today pushes on for tomorrow, and on and on and on and on. You know what I'm talking about? It keeps pushing it. It keeps pushing it. It's reinforcing it. So when you drop the ball, right? Let's say that you've been doing this for a week or 2 weeks. When you drop the ball, for whatever reason, you just don't realize what it takes. You think that it's going to. You start riding a wave, and you all of a sudden feel like, oh, this is good, and then you coast, and you're like, oh, okay, let me see the wave go by. No, the only reason that wave was created was because you were at momentum. You were at full throttle. So if you step back and you watch, this happens a lot to anyone, right? You make a sale, you step back. If you're not trained, you make a sale, you step back. You reach a good month, you step back. You get a gallery exhibit, you step back. This happens so much to people, and I believe the reason it happens is because we don't realize how much it takes. I don't really think that there is some mystical reason why or whatever. No, it's just we're not trained. We're not trained to sustain it, right? It's like, I don't know, it's like losing a couple of pounds, trying on those jeans or that dress and being like, oh, this is great. And then you just kind of step back and you're like, I'm looking so great. I'm going to go eat a burger and not exercise today. So you step back, and that's what creates the problem. That's that's what creates the problem. And artwork is the same thing. So I believe that what happens is we don't realize how much it takes. We step back, and then all we have left are excuses. And they're very intelligent excuses. They're extremely intelligent. They're logical. Many times they're tangible. We have real reasoning behind it. Yeah, get on the hammer train. Choo choo. Totally. I don't have my coffee with me. That's why I'm feeling like I just got into the studio and I'm like, where's my coffee? My wife is gonna bring me a coffee right now. I want a venti coffee with lots of foam. I like it foamy. I used to order Americanos. I started ordering Americanos when I thought I was cool in the early aughts, late 90s. It was the thing, right? I don't know if it was a thing, but it was a thing for me. And I had my long hair. I was introspective. I was reading a lot of existentialist books. I was like, oh yeah, existentialism. Drinking my lattes, my Americanos, but too much caffeine. Too much caffeine. So I couldn't handle it anymore. So now I drink Pike Place. Yeah, just regular Pike Place. So. Yeah, guys, it's just, it's so deep. Yeah, I was totally deep. I was totally deep. It's stupid, right? It's like the 90s. It's like the coolest thing ever. I was a guitarist who used to hang out with the local philosophers, theologians, mathematicians. I used to think I was the shit. And then I realized, oh man, why am I broke? What's going on? Sumatra Starbucks. I love that. Yeah. Nice. I love Starbucks. I don't know why people hate on Starbucks. There's so many people out there that are like, oh, I got this message from this guy or girl, I don't know, on this person on YouTube, and they're like, you lost me on Starbucks. Starbucks is shit. I'm like, why are you hating on a hustle? Starbucks is awesome. Totally. I was young and I was trying to identify with a group. Yeah. And it was a whole. What was it? I don't know. Like today, people call them hipsters, but it wasn't. It was like we used to listen to the Doors and trying to identify with some cool. We're trying to be cool, right? They're like, oh yeah, it's the late 90s. Let's listen to some, 60s music. I think that people are doing the same thing now, right? People are like all into 80s stuff right now. So it makes sense. 30 years later, people are going to be into that. But yeah. So again, guys, I'm remembering my late night at the cafes. Yeah. Everything to do with momentum, anything that has to do with momentum, you want to keep it going. You want to keep it going. The killer is to step back. Every time that you step back, you're killing that. Even if you do it for a day. Imagine, I don't know, I compare myself to these guys, even though I know my hustle's not like them. But I compare myself to these athletes in my own mind, right? I'm like, how would an artist act if he or she would have to act like an athlete? Right? What would that look like? Yeah. So how would an artist act if you had to shadow or mimic an athlete? And I think about it, I read this book, Relentless. This guy was talking about how Michael Jordan, he was his trainer, would get up early and train for hours before anyone was up, right? And then he would train again before the group training, right? Before the team would train. So by the time that he was ready to train with the team, he had already done serious personal time training. And I think about that and I'm like, and this was their, daily routine. They had to go run some miles. They had to go into the weights. They have to do some weights. This was a daily thing. So I think about it. Musicians the same way, right? These top performers, they have to go to dance class. They can't miss. There's my Spanish sipping in. They can't miss a beat, right? They can't. It has to be. This is continuous practice. Musicians is the same thing. I used to be a musician. It's a constant practice. If you half-ass it, you get no rewards. It's so funny because unless your eyeballs are bleeding, metaphorically, but it feels almost that way. Unless your eyeballs are bleeding, you start getting a little bit of reward. That's because we're not used to understanding how much it takes. We think that life is just going to happen. We're just going to get rewarded. You made a pretty painting and all of a sudden somehow the world was waiting for it, and it's not true. It's a lie. And a lot of artists out there perpetuate this lie. A lot of people out there perpetuate the lie. It's not about getting good. It's about getting frequent. It's the frequency you're looking for. And this is a little known secret. And I talk about it a lot. Some artists have already told me, don't talk about that. Stop talking about it. Let people figure out on their own and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why are you hating on that? It's like if you know something, if you already walked through a door, right? And you know how difficult it was to go through whatever, right? Through the challenge. I think it's everyone's responsibility to share it. Share it. Look, it's not easy, right? It's not easy, but it's doable. And these are the steps. This is what it looks like. So that's what I'm about. I realize that it's all the same. For a musician to start getting rewarded, he or she needs to know, for the most part, plenty of songs, be very good at it, right? But more importantly, this person needs to be consistent. There needs to be a consistency. There needs to be a consistency in songwriting. There needs to be a consistency in learning new songs. A consistency in playing some covers in there, right? Some cover songs so people can listen. Otherwise, people may not pay attention to the originals. There needs to be a consistency. There needs to be many things happening. There needs to be this person has to be playing every weekend at a bar. And then every other, day at a smaller bar and parties and this. There needs to be a consistency happening. Kimberly Christie Fine Art says, I appreciate your honesty. My art teachers never taught me that. Yeah, they don't teach that. They for the most part, art teachers, people you shadow, they think it's a secret. See, this is what happens, okay, guys? They work their asses off, either to learn how to create artwork, or to sell artwork, or all of the above. They work their asses off. They work really hard. And then they got to a place where they mind trick themselves, thinking that they stumble upon something special, on some trick, that they stumble upon some. I gotta get this dog out because he's driving me bananas. Hold on, guys. Come on, little dude. Come on. It's like he starts crying or something. Yeah. Say hello. Say what's up. Say I need a haircut. All right. I'll be back, guys. Hold on. Gotta get this guy. Come on. Go in there. Good boy. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I apologize for my absence. So what I was trying to say is that art teachers, art people, artists that are generating any type of momentum in their careers or whatever, all of a sudden this people start thinking that they stumble upon something, that somehow the gods allow them some intelligence. This shit happened to me. And I started realizing that it just didn't happen to me. It happened to a bunch of people that were creating a little bit of momentum. They're selling a little piece here and there. Some people started doing exactly what I'm doing, just kind of mimicking me. And I saw in their, because they think I don't pay attention. I saw in their interviews when, sometimes they get interviewed by, I don't know, a little magazine or something. And they talk about it like it's a secret, like a formula, right? And I think it's so funny because they know it's not, but they trick themselves into thinking it is. See, what happens is that they want it so bad. They want it so bad that they'll pay the price. There's a price to pay. There's a price of admission. And the price is you work very hard, very consistently, and you basically force yourself to discipline yourself, right? Anyone will tell you that has achieved anything. Want six packs? Six pack abs? I'm sure it wasn't easy, right? I haven't been able to get any. And I don't think I'm gonna get them just by wanting them. I'm sure it's not easy. I'm sure it's the most difficult thing, for these people. Like waking up every day and be like, oh, counting calories, checking your I don't know, your body fat, and constantly be on top of it, right? You constantly on top of it. So you discipline yourself. Because you want it so bad. You discipline yourself. You'll pay the price. There's a price of admission, and it's expensive. It's an expensive price because it requires all of you. It doesn't just require part of you. It requires all of you. So I see some people start selling some artwork, getting some momentum, and when they talk about it or when they share it with other people, they act as if they stumble onto something very special. And I just want to shake them and be like, snap out of it. Right? Ain't nothing special about it. You just work your ass off. And you don't want to share the process because you're afraid that maybe someone else might want it more than you and will work harder than you and will surpass your level of success. This happens a lot. Believe it or not, this happens a lot. I remember when I was a musician, this happened a lot. Where some kids, they just practice more. I saw them, they hustle more. And some of us from far away would be like, from the bleachers, right? Would be like, oh, it's because they know someone. Yeah, it's because they know someone. Oh, it's because, the community prefers them. Yeah, because their style is more, it's more commercial. Yeah, that's why. Hell no. It's because they work harder, period. End the story. That's the only reason why. Well, I was, scratching my butt, watching TV. These people were working. They were hustling. They were meeting people. They were talking at bars, passing demos. It's the only way. Megan says, Jose, can you shed light for people who might not understand what they need to be doing to gain momentum? People who might not know what they need to be spending time on, creating the work, etc. Totally. It's probably the most asked question. Where should I deposit the energy to receive the return on my investment, right? The ROI. Where should I deposit the energy? It's the most frequent question, and I'm gonna say it. Look, the reality is that there is no one place. The reality is that the momentum starts happening when you start doing a multitude of things. And it's hard to conceive. It's very hard to conceive because we think it's a couple of things. And if we just dial them in, boom, because again, it feels like there's a secret to it. That's why I remember talking to a mentor not long ago. This guy is a marketing expert online. He's an Amazon and Facebook ads. Well, he's got a team of people, right? And so he was really cool with me. We exchanged some values. I sent him one of my large portraits, a portrait for him, and we're about to do business. It didn't go through, but it wasn't because there was no value. It was because it wasn't a good fit. But he was so effing generous with his time and his just talking to me, just with his time and his knowledge. And he was so generous that he just poured on value and onto me when it comes to knowledge and how the market works and on and on and on and the internet space. And he essentially told me, look, what you're doing is exactly what you need to be doing. You just need to crank it up. Most people get stuck on where should I put my value. But the real value, the real thing is that you want to be doing many things. The reality is because you don't know what's going to click. Because you may do exactly what I do and it might not click for you. So the reality is that you have to do different things. For example, you need to be doing something on Facebook. You need to be posting daily. If you're posting once on Facebook, forget about it. Leave it. Do something else. Don't even mess with it. You don't exist. It's like throwing rocks at the Grand Canyon, hoping to fill it up with throwing a single rock at a time. It's so vast. It's so large. It's so it doesn't care about you. Their algorithm does not care about your single post. And even if people pay attention and you get 50 comments and, oh my God, that's so awesome, it means nothing. It means nothing in the scheme of things. It probably means that someone clicked on your website once and looked at it and just, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. What you want to do is you want to have 10, 20, 15, I don't know, of those a day. You want that momentum, right? Because in that repetition, this is where the hard work comes in. In that repetition, it's where you start getting people talking and sharing, right? So that's just Facebook. You want to be, I don't know, do a little selfie with your paintings, right? You have to be talking about everything that involves artwork, everything about marketing, about mindset. See what I do? You have to be talking about, oh, I'm cleaning my studio today. Boom, take a photo of it, record it, share it on Facebook. And when you share it on Facebook, you want to be sharing it on all the platforms. And don't worry about it in the beginning. Just share it on all the other platforms. But you want to be using the rhythm, because all platforms have different rhythms. Right? There's a little different rhythm in every platform. Instagram is different than Facebook. In Instagram, I can get away with an hour video like this. On Facebook, it's a little harder. People I tend to lose people. I notice that I make them a little shorter when I do Facebook videos. On YouTube, you could get away with a 2-minute video or a, 8-hour video, whatever, right? But YouTube is how-tos. So you may want to show people how to stretch a canvas and on and on. Now this is to let people know that you exist. You have to constantly be using it. Constantly. I use what my mentor says. Don't use it, abuse it. You need to be abusing this because they're lines of communication. And they're free. This is what most artists don't get. And it blows my mind. They're fucking free. Like, just think about it for a second. When I used to be a portrait artist, I used to just do portraiture. I used to pay any of the magazines to get a little business card size, whatever ad for my portraiture, right? And it was like, this was years ago. This was like, 12, 14 years ago. It was like 600 bones a month to do something like that. And people are like, yeah, but all the readers and blah, blah, blah. That's not true. It doesn't happen that way. The only way that works is if you do it enough. If you do it enough. So you have to be doing it every month, right? You have to pull 600 bones out of your pocket and do it. When something sells, don't spend the money. Go and now buy a bigger one. Instead of a little one, now you buy a half page. And then you keep doing it, and you keep doing it, and you keep doing it. And that's what most people don't realize, that you need the repetition for something to start working. It's like the train, right? The train starts. They used to, Jeff Koons said that it used to take about 8 hours, because he was trying to do an installation with a train. 8 hours just to get the machine going. Not even to move, just to get the machine ignited and ready to move. Just ready to move. It used to take about 8 hours of just pouring coal in there or whatever, to make the fire. And get steam, right? Get the steam, get the momentum. So this is what I tell artists. You want to do everything to start getting noticed. Now, you want to be able to have some sort of platform where you start monetizing. Okay, I don't know. That may be eBay. These are called cash flows. Okay, cash flow strategies. That's what they're called. You're not trying to become rich. You're trying to move. Create movement. Okay. Now it's awesome if you start hitting it out of the park. My first year that I did it, I hit it out of the park. But that's not always the case. So you want to have some sort of, a little platform. I don't know. It might be Etsy. It might be eBay. It might be Fine Art America, whatever, where you're selling something, whether it be prints, whether it be your originals, whatever it is, That's why I say don't get stuck on one, because it might be phone cases. I don't know, phone cases with your artwork. I see some people doing that. But when you start doing stuff like that, it's because you have enough audience. Okay? Now, if you're starting out and you don't have the audience, please get rid of the originals. They have much more value. It's the originals that have value. And because people don't know you, it's a funny thing. People are willing to pay for them, just not a lot in the beginning because they don't know you. But they know that they're valuable because they're original. That's the only thing they know. They're like, okay, well, this person's is not known. No one's chasing this person for the artwork. It must not cost that much, but I know something. It costs some because it's original. So at some point, if this person continues, right, it'll cost more. So they're betting on you. When people buy from you, they're betting on you. So you want to have something in I don't know, an eBay shop, an Etsy shop, your own place, whatever. Go where there's traffic already, right? And then now what you're doing, okay, I'm giving you guys the rundown here. Now what you're doing, you're using Snapchat, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, everything, right? You're using all of these mechanisms, all of these free lines of communication, and each one should have a link to that, to your cash flow, okay? Every time you put something, put a link underneath. Every time you talk about something, put a link underneath. Now, the rule is, okay, if you want to play the rule, if you want to play the long-term game, is that every 9 things that you promote, every nine posts sell in one. Okay, so it's 95% promotion. Talk about sharing value. You don't want to be selling all the time because people are going to get upset and they're going to drop you. What you want to do is you want to be sharing value. You found a Van Gogh painting you like, share it and talk about it. You were at a museum, take a photo or take a little video and share it for those of people who can't be there, right? You're sharing value. You're sharing experience. Value comes in many different forms. That's why people can't scratch their heads and are like, man, how did that person that I don't know, Kim Kardashian, how did she become so famous? Oh my God, and people have all these ideas. No, she's sharing value. You know what her value? I think her value is that a lot of people get to live through her experience. A lot of people get a piece of that pie, right? She shows herself, I don't know, with great clothes, being, I don't know, super high maintenance and doing all this cool stuff. And so people are like, oh man, that's awesome, you know, and as she's walking you through it, she's sharing her experience. So her value, I believe her value is that she's essentially allowing you to experience her life through a lens, you know, and a lot of people enjoy that. So, you know, maybe it inspires people. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I don't know what it is, but maybe it inspires people and people are like, dude, I want Kim Kardashian's life. You know, and they all of a sudden start working harder, and they, you know, I don't know. Yeah, sharing free tips, how-tos, advice, and all that kind of stuff. What you want to do is you want to share value and any type of thing that anywhere you're in front of, it's an experience, so that's value, right? You're in front of a painting, you just bought new art supplies. That's an experience, right? You're opening art supplies, record that. Say, look, I just bought this. I'm going to show you guys right now something. I just bought this ones right here. I'm going to do a little video on them. They're the Shiba oil sticks. These are super cool. They're like they're like pastel oils, but they're not pastel oils. They look that way. They're not pastel, they're just oils, and they dry fast. They dry really fast, and it's, you know, I like them for the large scale artworks, and I'm going to show you guys how. I'm going to show. Look, here's an example. I'm going to do an unpackaging, and I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to read the instructions. I'm going to read what it's made out of, and blah blah blah. For the people, I'm going to put it on YouTube. For the people who are like, oh man, I wonder what the oil paint stick by Shiba is like. How much does it cost? And, you know, should I even get one? I'll talk about it. Why not? And then I'll do a little demo using the Shiba oil stick on one of my large paintings. And that's an application demo, right? The first one's an unpackaging. And I talk about price and I talk about what it is, right? What the damn thing is in the first place. And then I'll do another little video. They don't have to be long videos. They can just be like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. Right? Then I'll do a long video about me painting some flowers or some of my cool shit. I don't know, whatever. Some figurative work for this. I think it's going to be super awesome. Yeah? Paint some figures. Draw some figures. Essentially, you're drawing, but you're drawing with oil paint, and it's not a brush. So it's really cool. And, you know, that's another video, right? So you're sharing. This is the donkey work. This is the shit nobody wants to do. But the reality is that you have to do a lot of something. Now, I don't know what that is, right? I've been blessed with creating lots of work. So lots of work creates lots of momentum for me. But I see other artists who don't create lots of work. What they create is they create lots of content. They're like, no, dude, I don't work as fast as you, right? I've talked to some of them because I'm like, dude, what's making you win? Like, I know you're working hard, but what's making you win, right? And again, they think that it's a secret. Like, oh, I don't want. And you start looking into it. I visit some studios and I start looking, and I'm like, oh yeah, I see what they're doing. They're just working hard. It just looks different, right? You can never escape that part. It's a mind fuck. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for cussing. It's a mind fuck. People think that you can't. You're gonna figure something out, but it's hard work. It just looks different. It looks different. I paint a lot. Other people don't paint a lot. Other people create a lot of Vine videos. They create a lot of articles. Other people speak public a lot. They do public speaking a lot. So they every time they're going to do public speaking, they're going to talk about artwork, and they're going to talk about their experience about being an artist, and on and on and on. And what they do is that they carry a few pieces of artwork with them on easels, right? With a lot of business cards and a lot of they lead capture. They capture their name and email. And that's what they do. And they talk consistently to groups of 20, 30, 50, 100 people. Consistently. Of course that's going to work. It's a no-brainer. Of course it's going to work, right? Sooner or later, it's going to give in. Sooner or later. And those are some people that maybe they don't sell as frequent as I do. But they sell once a week. And that once a week is, I don't know, 2-3 pieces for $1,000 each. Or, whatever, right? So it generates for them, and it looks different, but it's the same. It's work. It's a lot of work. So any place you put yourself, it's going to be lots of work. And this is a reason why most people don't want to pay the price. They're like, oh no, wait a minute. Like, there is no wrong or right way of getting abs, right? I keep getting back to the abs because I want to look like Brad Pitt on Fight Club, man. Fight Club. That's on my mind lately. So I'm sure there's no right or wrong way. I'm sure if I talk to a trainer, one of the trainers is going to be like, look, no, this is the right diet. It's the paleo diet. Jose, you're putting up a few pounds, man. You're going to use the paleo diet. Oh, okay, the paleo diet. Okay. And I'm going to be like, all right, what else? And then you're going to, do 20 minutes of cardio and then 20 minutes of this. Oh, okay. And then I'll go talk to someone else. They're like, no. I talked to a friend, right? This is because I've talked to at least 3 people by now, 3 different trainers. Because I want a personal trainer, right? I want a personal trainer. I think it's really cool. So at least someone who can help me hold me accountable. Because I'll talk about that in some other video. Accountability is everything. And then I'll talk to another trainer who all they do is run, right? They do the whole what do they call them? Ironmans and all that kind of stuff. And then this dude's like, dude, no, forget about it. Forget the whole diet bullshit. He's like, it's not diet. He's like, just go out and start walking. The first day. Then the next day, you start walking a little faster and stretch the distance, right? And then the next day, you stretch the distance. Before you know, you're gonna start walking a mile, 2 miles. When you walk a mile, I want you to start jogging. And I was like, oh, okay. So no diet. He's like, dude, eat an ice cream every day if you want to. He's like, you're not gonna want to, but do it. It's not diet, right? You're gonna have to start running. That's what you want to do. Because he runs, right? He does Ironmans and he weight lifts and whatnot. But he says, the cure is run. The cure of it is run. Then I talked to someone else who's like, no, dude, no, it's wrong. It's a mixture of leg day and then some cardio and then some... And I'm like, you know what I think? All you 3 fools are telling me? You're all telling me that you work hard in different ways. And either way, it's going to work. If I just put in the work. That's what I get out of it. And so when people ask me, what does it take? I'm like, dude, if you ask me, it's going to be one thing. But it's going to be, I promise you one thing, it's going to be a shitload of hard work. If you talk to someone else, they're going to say another completely different thing. They're going to say, look, no, this is what I did. Oh, this is where the secret is. And then once you start digging into it and you're like, yeah, let me do it. You're going to start finding out that you can't escape the sweating part. It's going to be there. It just looks different, but it's going to be there. You know? So that's why I tell you guys, look, there is no wrong or right way. It's just doing it. And then you're going to find out your process. In the movement, you will find out your comfort levels, how to break them, and you start finding out your process. Cyril Harris Jr. says, you're a good speaker, very motivational. I love that. Thank you so much. So that's it for today, guys. I feel like you guys got this. I feel like you guys by now have heard me enough and heard what my spiel is about. And it just requires hard work. You just gotta pull the trigger, guys. That's all you have to do. You have to pull the trigger and don't stop pulling it. If today you paint tomorrow. If tomorrow you paint the next day. If today, see, this is one of my mentors told me this one day, and I was like just blown away. If it's good enough to do one day, Jose, it's good enough to do every day. If it's good enough to do one day, you want to be doing it every day. Okay? You eat once, right? Yeah, I eat once. Do it every day. It's a good idea. You paint once, paint every day. It's a good idea. You exercise once, exercise every day. It's a really good idea, right? Whatever you do once, you want to be doing it daily. You wash your car. Maybe you don't wash your car every day, but you take care of it every day, right? You take care of it every day. You go clean. You move the clutter and whatnot, right? The kids left some crayons there. You remove them. Every day you're looking at it. Every day you're looking at it. It's a constant watch. This is why people get upset. When I talk, a lot of people get upset when I talk about this on YouTube because not a lot, but some people do. Because I talk about work and they don't want to hear that. They want to hear me say, look, this is how you do it. You get some artwork and then, you paint really well. These are the colors you want to be using because these are the colors that sell the best. And this is what you want to be painting because this is what paints. This theme is what sells the best. Oh my God. Like you just paint the shore with a horse running through it. And that's where the money is. And this is the size you want to be painting, right? You want to paint it not too large, not too small, but this size, 20 by 24. Yeah. And you want to use these brushes and you want to use this paint. And that's why people get so stuck. They're like, what oil are you using? Tell me. I'm like, forget about the oil. Forget about the paint. It's bogus. It's none of it. That's just stuff that I use. Now, if you want to learn, I get it, right? Like, ask me. I'm not saying not to ask me if you want to learn. But if you think that that's the trick, you're deeply mistaken. That is not the trick. I could paint all my paintings with this thing and still make them, sell them. Because it's not about me. It's not about some trick. It's about the work. It's about the outflow. It's not in. It's the out. It's the outflow. And that's where, it's in the sweat that we get the muscle. No, it's in the sweat. And that's what's going to happen in your career, guys. It's in the sweat. Oh my God. I just typed in an article. Boom, send it. I'm going to have an art exhibit. Okay, well, type in an article and send it to the PR, to a PR, local newspaper, whatever. Oh my God, I don't know. That's what it takes. Send it to 10. Send it to 20 people. Have them talk about it. Maybe if you send it to 30 different outlets, on online, your local news channel, whatever, maybe 1 or 2 are going to pick it up. If 1 or 2 pick it up, at least a couple thousand people are going to read it and see it. And don't rely on that. Stand in the corner and pass out flyers. I don't know. It's so many of us want to do it elegantly, and that's why we can't do it. Because we want to do it like, I don't know, like, it's for show. It's not really what we want to do. It's for show. It's like, oh yeah, I wanna. I've seen some guys, they go into their studio to their art exhibit. They're like, they have the scarf and the cognac glass, with the little fedora, and they're like, yeah, man, my show. I'm like, dude, that's stupid. I think that. I don't know. I have my shows, and I'm passing out flyers outside 2 weeks before. Right? I'm shaking hands. I'm going and I'm eating in the restaurants nearby, and I'm talking to the chefs, and I'm talking to the people, and I'm telling them I'm going to have a show, or some of my artwork is being hung right now in downtown in some high-rise buildings. I'm going to take some more today. I'm going to take some large pieces. As a matter of fact, let me show you one of them. And so I don't play the artist bullshit game, because I understand that it's work. This is one of the paintings that I'm gonna take to check it out. It's pretty cool, huh? It's 4 feet by 5 feet. Let me see if you can see it. There you go. You guys can see it right there. So one of the things that I do is that there's restaurants around there, right? There's restaurants. I'm gonna go and I start shaking hands every morning. Every lunch, instead of having lunch here in my studio, yeah, I could save money if I eat here in my studio, blah, blah, blah. I learned the hard way. No, dude, spend the money. Go meet people. I'd rather go to the nice, I don't know, cafes maybe. Whatever, if you can't afford them, order only a coffee. I don't know. But you want to be around them. Right? You want to be around them. You want to get frequent with them. Hey, Jose, good morning. How are you, man? How's it going? Artist? They start calling you artist. And then someone else listens and they're like, are you an artist? Oh, yeah. You pull out your phone, you show the Instagram photos, and they're like, oh, my God, yeah. I've been wanting to do a paint. I've been wanting to get a painting, a commission. That's how commissions are born. You just talk. You move, right? Online, it's the same thing. You can't really be verbalizing all the time unless you're recording yourself like me. But you show photos, and then people share photos. You show photos, people share photos. You share video, people share videos. You share articles, people share them. And it's the same thing. It's talking. It's moving. It's the movement that will create it's going to start driving the opportunity your way. Kimberly says, I'm reaching out to doctor offices and local restaurants. That's the way. And reach out. Do volumes and watch. You're gonna remember me. It's fuzzy. There you go. Do volumes of it, and you're gonna remember what I'm talking about. Don't reach out to 1 or 2 doctors' offices. Put a large painting or 2 if you can in each place. Get about 20 places in your local area. Even if they're prints, it doesn't matter. Because what you're doing is you're letting people know what you're about. Just allow them to put a little business card or something. I don't know. Contact me here, call me here, whatever. Maybe a little pamphlet. Don't get complicated. Just a little something where they don't have to constantly ask the staff to give them your phone number or your email or website. But when you do volumes, that's when it starts. That's when it starts happening. You have 3-4 dental offices. You have a doctor office here, a chiropractic there. You have a restaurant here. All of a sudden someone's like, oh, you're an artist. Guess who's going and eating at the restaurant? Who's eating in the restaurant? The gallery owners. They all know each other. All of a sudden they're like, oh, look at the paintings. Yeah. Before you know it, the gallery owner's like, man, I have a slow month, blah, blah, blah. I need some artwork, for whatever. They take a snap at take a photo of your art, your phone number that is there. They'll call you. They'll call you and be like, hey, you want to put some artwork on my wall? Yeah, sure. If it doesn't go through, don't worry about it. Another one will come. What you need to do is just keep pouring in logs into the fire. And that's how it happens, guys. Again, I see these artists, they're going to have a show and they have their scarf and their cognac glass, their little fedoras and their little hipster mustache and they're like, yeah, blah, 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 my artwork. That's great. It's cool for show. But what you want to do is you want to drop the act and go get people. You gotta go reach people, because that's really what's gonna pay. People are not gonna think you're cool just because you look cool. People are gonna follow you because you reached out to them. So I'll leave you with that. The name's Jose Trujillo. Take care, guys. I will talk to you soon. And don't judge me if you see me with a fedora.